So in this video, I'm going to share with you basically a sun salutation practice, but I've just tweaked it a little bit so that it helps me to stretch out the backs of my legs a little bit more intensely and open up the front of the hips, which, as I mentioned in the last video, tends to be two of the main things that I really need after a few days of solid hiking. So let's get started. Come up onto the feet, standing in mountain pose, Tadasana, near the front of your mat, spreading the toes and rooting down into the earth, palms together. And just centering yourself here for a moment. And let's connect with the breath. Notice it coming and going. Getting a sense of your body grounded, surrounded by space, sky above you. And we'll be moving much more slowly than we might ordinarily move through a sun salutation. So I encourage you just to breathe freely, smoothly, comfortably deep. And don't worry too much about matching your breath with your movement. So when you're ready, let's gently drop the arms and reach them out and up. Bringing the palms together above your head. This might be enough for you, but just to get into the front of the hips a little bit more, think of tucking the tailbone and lifting the heart into just a small back bend. And then slowly, with a little bit of softness in your knees, dive forward from your hips into Uttanasana. Standing forward fold. Let's inhale here into a halfway lift. Maybe sliding the fingertips up the shins and gently flattening and lengthening your spine from tailbone to crown. And then melt forward again. Pause here in Uttanasana for a few breaths. Rooting equally and evenly through the feet, spreading the toes, a little bend of the knees. And then we're going to take a nice big step back with our right foot. And this time we're going to pause in a long, low lunge. So lengthening the spine, reaching back through that back leg into your heel. And breathing. So we're just giving ourselves a little bit longer in some of the shapes. And then when you're ready, let your knee come softly down onto the ground. Lifting up, raising the arms up towards the sky. Palms facing each other or together in Anjali-asana. Breathe here a moment, softening and melting down into the hips. And then slowly release. Lift and step back. And float forward into plank. And then here, bring the knees down onto your mat. Stretch out your toes. And we're going to get a sense that the thighs are kind of heavily rolling down towards the ground. As you do so, just gently opening out the front of your hips. We're moving into a back bend. So you're all going to be a bit different here. Some of you might be fine with the arms more or less straight, gently drawing the shoulder blades a little towards each other, back and down, and lifting the heart. But if it's just a little bit too much in your lower back, just bend the elbows. Keep drawing the elbows in a little, and come down maybe to a mid-range cobra, or maybe a baby cobra where you're really not using the arms and hands at all. And let's just take a few breaths here. A nice one to open out the front of the body. And then press. Lift up, tuck toes, and we'll press back into down dog. So just lifting your knees and sending the hips back and up. Reset the feet if you need to. It's quite nice here to just slowly pedal out the legs. So just one knee bends whilst the opposite heel drops. And moving slowly from side to side. It's a really nice way to access the back of your legs. Breathing freely, smoothly, steadily. And then from here, drawing that knee in nice and close to you, stepping your foot forward. And once again, come into that long, low lunge. Pause here. Breathe. Keep reaching back through the back foot and forward through the front knee. And of course, along the length of your spine. Maybe smiling, softening. And then from here, before we step forward, I'd like you to lift your hips up high and see if you can lengthen the front leg. Once here, if it feels okay, you might want to melt your torso, your chest towards your front leg. What you can try and do here is bend the front leg a little bit so that your belly and chest make contact with the front of your thigh. And just curl your head in gently towards your knee. Keeping that contact between front body and leg, you can then invite your front leg to lengthen a little bit. Just to the point where you're challenging yourself a little bit. Not too much, not too little. And breathe. And then slowly release. Bring the hands back to a position where you can then step forward. Knees a little apart, toes spread. Uttanasana. Just aware of both legs and the back of both legs. A little, maybe a wee micro bend in your knees. My knees aren't locked like that, but they're just relaxed. Inhale slowly into your halfway lift. Nice long spine. And then exhale, Uttanasana, but this time, bend the knees a little and once again, just bring the belly and chest onto the thighs. And you could choose to either hold onto your wrists behind your legs or maybe your elbows. Relaxing the upper body, the neck and the head. And just as you did already,
You might want to try keeping your front body stuck to your thighs whilst you just gently invite your legs to lengthen a little bit. Hopefully you're feeling it now in the legs, particularly the back of your legs, but not too much. Couple more breaths. And then bend the knees, release into nice soft Uttanasana again. Pause here for a moment. And then softly, effortlessly, start to roll up through a rounded spine. Taking your time, feeling your way up through each vertebrae. And naturally, as the chest lifts, weighing your arms out and up. Maybe coming into that little back bend if it feels okay, tucking the pelvis a little, lifting the heart. And then slowly exhaling back to mountain pose, Tadasana. Hands to heart. Connect with your breath. So I'll just take you through it once more on the other side. But if you're practicing on your own, of course, you could repeat the sequence another couple of times if that felt right. So when you're ready, let's reach the arms out and up. And on your next exhale, float forward from the hips, Uttanasana. Nice and relaxed. Release the neck, release the head, release the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, Uttanasana. Let's step the left foot back. Nice big step. And drop down into that long, low lunge. Imagine that you're reaching forward through the front knee and back through the back heel. We're not allowing our hips to completely collapse here. We're keeping a certain amount of engagement. So the little lift, long spine. And just breathe and smile. One more breath. And then let your knee softly come down onto the mat. And then reaching your arms forward and up. Lifting the heart. And this time, softening down through the pelvis and the hips and thighs. I quite like to cross my thumbs here and really enjoy a nice stretch up through the arms, lifting my heart, aware of my breath. On your next exhale, release. Let's lift and step back and drift forward into plank. And then allow the knees to come down onto the ground, stretch out the feet. And then let your thighs lazily roll down towards the ground.
And just decide where you want to be in your back bend. Do you want to be high up with the arms almost straight? Or do you need to bend the elbows a little bit? Or maybe all the way down onto your belly into baby cobra, keeping the chest lifted. Just a few breaths. And just as an optional add-on for those who enjoy this pose, maybe reaching your arms back, stay here, or bend the legs, lift the thighs, stay here, or if you can, hold on to the front of your feet and press the feet into the hands and just enjoy a really good opening out in bow pose. A really good one to get into the front body, open out the front body, the front hips, which is what I'm really focusing on. And then release. Tuck toes and press up and back into down dog. Pedal out the legs. Just take your time and breathe easy. Enjoy. Even lingering for a breath or two to each side. And then readying yourself to step forward with the left leg. When you're ready, drawing that knee in nice and close to the body, step forward. Drop down into your long, low lunge. And just breathe. And then before we step forward, let's see if we can lift the hips and allow that front leg to lengthen. Might lengthen a lot, it might barely lengthen. You can stay as you are, or I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit. Bend the front knee so that I can bring my belly and chest down onto the top of the thigh. And then just curl my head gently in towards my knee. Maintain that contact and invite the front leg to lengthen a little, just until you feel the bite. Not too much, not too little. Breathe with it and relax as much as you can. Softening your shoulders, your jaw and your eyes. The places that tension likes to hide. And then when you're ready, releasing and preparing yourself to step forward again. Uttanasana. Spread the toes, root the feet. Soft Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Allow your knees to bend. Bring the belly and chest onto the front of your thighs. Wrap the arms round the back of your legs. Either hold onto your wrist or hold onto your elbows. Drop the head. So we're just inviting the legs to lengthen, but without allowing the body to leave contact with the thighs. We're just looking for the sweet spot
Goldilocks approach, not too much, not too little. I quite like to gently rock my weight forward and back on the feet and just play with that a little bit. Finding balance. And then pausing. And breathing. On your next breath out, really soften upper body. Release your arms. And let's roll lazily up. Take your time on which you really feel each vertebra moving. And reaching the arms out and up. Maybe taking that little back bend. And then exhaling. Tadasana. Pause. Check in with your whole body. Releasing your arms. And there's one final pose I would like to finish with, which I find just feels great in my body after a hike. It's a pigeon pose. So for this one, you start on all fours. And we're going to bring the right knee forward, slide that knee forward. And then just slide the right foot over to the left a little bit. And then slide your left foot back. So you're bringing your hips down towards the ground. Now some of you will be able to settle down into the ground quite easily. Some of you will feel as though you're being shoved over to one side. And if that's you, cushion a block underneath that front thigh, that front buttock, trying to support yourself so that the hips feel reasonably even. And we're going to go into a nice lazy pigeon. So just begin to melt forward to wherever it is you're comfortable going. And of course you can rest on a bolster or forehead on a block, or even making fists and supporting your forehead with your fists. So you can get creative here. It feels good. You can slide the arms forward and just melt. And if this is not accessible for you, lie on your back instead and hug your knee in towards your chest. It's a good alternative. Couple more breaths here. And then easing up. Tuck toes. Slide back. Let's take a brief downward dog. Spreading fingers, rooting the hands. Let's try inhaling and coming high up onto the balls of the feet. And exhaling, melting the heels towards the floor. Just doing that once more, inhaling. And exhaling. And then bringing your knees gently down onto the ground. Practice our pigeon on the other side. Sliding your left knee forward. Just swing your foot across to the right a little bit to get out of the way. And then slide your right leg back. Melt the hips towards the ground. Stretch out your back foot. And again, if you need to, a block underneath the thigh, the buttock of that left leg, that front leg. So nice even hips. And then from where you're at, you can just begin to see how far forward you'd like to go. Just soften and release. And breathe. And it's a really beautiful stretch out for the buttocks, across the buttocks. Just 2 or 3 more breaths. And let's come slowly up. Swing round. Stretch out your legs. And if it feels good, give them a bit of a wriggle, a bit of a jiggle. Rotate the feet. And then a little bit of a massage, sliding your hands down towards the feet and up. Down the outer legs and up the inner legs. Good. Okay, so I think that's that. There's much more you could obviously add on to your sequence, but just try and keep it simple for today. I hope this is something that you'll practice and you'll find benefit from. Thank you.